So what is Deadside? Deadside is an open world PvPvE shooter. I like to describe it as a mix of DayZ and Rust, and you could have guessed that the player base is just as toxic. Just keep in mind, everything in this video is just my opinion. I just want to give my input to anyone looking to buy the game. I've only got about 50-60 hours. I want to start off with things I really like about the game. One of my favorite things is how it's more of a arcade survival game with realistic aspects to it. As someone who plays DayZ, I like how it's a nice change of pace and you aren't playing for 6 hours just to run into 2 people. The gunplay has its ups and downs. I really like how the weapons have a slight realism to them, like the audio design and the weapon models. But that's really about it when it comes to that. Something I have found unique is the missions. When you load in, you'll notice different icons on the map. Specifically, you'll notice a level 1, 2, 3, and a star icon placed in your cities. They're also visible to other players in game, so you gotta be prepared and watch out for them. If it isn't obvious, level 1's easy, 2's medium, 3's hard, and last but not least, my favorite is the star, which is the epic mission. Usually you start off with these, but there are more types of missions around the map, which I will get into later. When you first spawn in, it's typical you check the map and you head to the closest level 1 mission. What you find there is a bunch of AI. They have guns. Luckily for us, they're pretty stupid. It's very easy to sneak up and kill one with the knife that you spawn with, or you could just run into a building and hopefully you find a gun, kill him, pick up his gun, kill his buddies. And once they're all dead, you will be greeted with a mission complete. And there will be a highlighted box that you can just run over and loot. If it isn't obvious, the harder level the mission, you'll get better loot. Missions will always pop up in random areas and there'll be different levels, so you won't run out of anything to do. The other type of missions I mentioned earlier are harder, and towards endgame, you can do it with tier 1 guns, but it's not really recommended. The 3 more missions is Heli Crash, Convoy, and an Airdrop. The Heli Crash just spawns a few AI and they're not that hard to kill. A box will spawn on the side of the heli, so once you kill, I think it's less than 10, once you kill them all, just run over to the box and it's got some pretty decent loot in it. Next is the Airdrop, which can either be the easiest or the hardest mission in the game depending on where it is and how fast you get to it. No AI will spawn at the Airdrop, but players flood to it like crazy. So if you're a fresh spawn and it drops right next to you, it's worth a shot taking it and running. That's what I do. Next is the Convoy, which I hate the most. It's where a bunch, and I mean a decent amount of AI are walking down the road. They'll spot you 300 meters out, and they'll just start blasting, and I swear they do not miss. There will be a certain AI within that group with the heaviest gear that when you kill him, he will drop a box. And once you pick it up, the game will alert other players that you have it, and it will put a small radius on the map of where you are. The goal is to take it to one of the 2 safe zones and have a trader open it up, which is free. Now the Convoy is fairly easy if you have some cover with mid to end game loot, but the AI is the least of the problems. In-game players really love this mission for some reason, so when you get that box, run, do not look back until you hit the handsome little guy at the trader. Speaking of the safe zone trader, you will notice that when you speak to one of them, there is a thing called a safe zone storage on the left side of your screen, which I really like. As a mainly solo player, it's sort of hard to get a base going, but even harder to defend it, so being able to live out of the safe zone makes it a little bit easier for me. Also, both North and South Trader have separate storages, so if you run out of storage at one, there's a railway system you can take, which costs 3 dog tags to the other trader, and you can store your stuff there. Now, building a base in this game consists of a hammer, axe, nails, and a code lock. Now, since this isn't a tutorial video, I'm not going to explain how to make a base, but it's relatively simple. Code lock is the hardest thing to get. You can either craft it or spend 45,000 at the trader to get one, but personally me, I think I'd rather just craft one. Now, the good thing with bases is you can farm from a single tree because they do not fall down, which makes things a lot easier. You can just place down a land claim and build a base around a tree, and you can just farm inside your base as long as you want. But once you do have a land claim and a base down, when you die from a player, you have a chance of dropping something called a raid token, which another player can activate, and your base will become raidable for an hour. A red circle will pop up on the map with the general location of your base, so beat them there, call your friends, and get ready to defend it with your life. They are saying next update they're going to add offline raiding, which is getting a negative response from everyone I've seen so far. My opinion, I think it'll ruin the game. Now on to the negatives of the game. I'm going to stay on the topic of bases. Trying to get things to build your base is a very annoying grind, like trying to find nails and everything to build a base lock, and smacking a tree until you get enough wood is just not fun. It takes too long, and your inventory will fill up so fast you just got to go deposit everything anyway. I'm not saying the game is bad, but the game is pretty much dead, so you will run into a group of players with 2,000 plus hours that will not hesitate to kill you and steal every last drop of loot you have. I've had a group camp a level 1 mission and kill me when I spawned, and a lot of them, no matter what time of day, every time you get on, they are there. Another thing with this game, it barely drops any update, and when they do, it's always very minor. And this one very specific detail that in any video game bugs me to my core is the reload system. When my character puts the mag in the gun and it clicks in there, I shouldn't have to wait for my slow character to put his hand back on the gun. The animation of the hand going back on the gun just drives me crazy. It is too slow and it's gotten me killed countless times. And speaking of little minor annoyances, the wolves. That's one thing that they added, and I swear you cannot run for 2 minutes in the woods without being attacked by a wolf. And they take like one headshot, or you can hit them with your knife once, but it's just, there's so many of them, it drives me crazy. It's not something that bad, it's just something that bugs me a little bit. Now the last thing that really bothers me is the nighttime in the game, and I know nighttime is gonna be dark. But in this game, even when you're in your own base or if you're in the woods, it is pitch black and unplayable. You can't see a thing. And I know that, as I said, it's nighttime, it's going to be dark. But I think personally, in a video game, it shouldn't be so dark you can't see anything and it's unplayable. Because you can't have fun looking at a black screen. Again, everything in this video is just my opinion. Everyone's got different opinions. If you have anything you want to correct me on or add input, please leave it in the comments. Now, the main question that you're probably here for is, should I spend my money on this game? In my personal opinion, I don't think, as of now, the $25 price tag is worth the price. I would wait for it to go on sale. I've seen it go on sale for about $8, so I'll just wait until then. Anyway, if you like the video, like, subscribe, and I hate you, JSage756.